If this message found you, it is not a coincidence. God wants you to hear this. You were not punished. You were placed, not by accident, not because you were broken. You were placed because you carry a light so strong and a power so rare that it drew both heaven's calling and the enemy's attention. Your life force was noticed. Your crown was visible, even when you could not see it yet. Narcissists do not choose the weak. They do not choose the powerless. They are drawn to the ones who carry God's image so clearly that rooms change when they speak. They target the generous, the loyal, the deep feelers, the quiet leaders. They target the ones who can love without keeping score. They saw your light. They saw your capacity. They saw your crown, and they came close to drink from it. God allowed the encounter, not to destroy you, but to awaken you. This was purposeful placement. It was not a wrong turn. It was the exact pressure that would wake up what was already inside you. Strength you had, worth you had, purpose you had. Some of it slept under old survival patterns. This relationship was the fire that refined you. It did not ruin you. It purified you. They arrived like charm and left like ash. In the middle, they mirrored every place you were taught to abandon yourself. The fear of being alone, the compulsion to overgive, the instinct to apologize for existing, the quiet nod you give to disrespect so the room stays calm, the way you explained their harm while ignoring your own heart, the way you tried to earn love by shrinking your soul. All of it came to the surface so it could finally be healed in God. They were a mirror and a storm, a mirror to show the cracks, a storm to strip away what could not travel with you into your calling. The chaos was the classroom, the confusion was the curriculum. When it felt like you were losing everything, you were actually shedding what was false. What remained was the unshakable you, the you God always saw. You may still ask, why me? Here is the answer. Because you were already radiant, because you were ready for more, because God knew your healing would free others, because this was the fastest path from small living to true living. Meeting them was not a detour, it was a doorway to claim your power with God at the center, a doorway to move from unguarded light to guarded glory. Understand this with your whole heart. Love does not ask you to disappear. Love does not weaponize your kindness against you. Love protects. Love tells the truth. Love keeps its word. Love respects your no. Love honors the image of God in you. The person who tore you down could not meet that standard because they refused to meet themselves. That is not yours to fix. Your assignment is not to heal their refusal. Your assignment is to guard your light and partner with God. Control is the thief of peace. Picture your life as a bicycle. When you pedal in panic, faster and harder, forcing every turn, the chain snaps. You stop moving forward and bend over on the shoulder, fixing damage. That is what control does. Hustle as salvation, planning as protection. The quiet prayer beneath it all says, God, I do not trust you to steer. I will handle it. You grip the handlebars until your hands ache, and still the road will not open. Here is the mercy. The instant you unclench, the instant you hand the handlebars back to God, the road opens again. Not because you became passive, because you became aligned. Say it out loud even now. God, I return the handlebars, set my pace, lead my steps, keep my peace. I trust you more than I trust my fear. Let this enter your bones. God can change a life in one night. Doors that would not budge can swing. Paths that looked dead can bloom. The room you were not invited into can become the room you are called to lead, not by rushing, not by bargaining, not by control dressed up as spirituality, by surrender. God's plan may offend your timeline, but it will outshine your imagination. You do not need to see the whole route to trust the driver. Pain is not always a verdict. Often it is a pivot. First, God whispers. If the whisper is missed, he raises the volume. If you still cannot hear, he shakes the table, not to harm you, to move you. Heartbreak is not always hell. Sometimes it is a hallway. Betrayal is not your identity. It is your exit sign. Confusion is not your future. It is the alarm that wakes you before you miss it. You were not abandoned in the storm. You were escorted through it. You were targeted because of your light. The reason they chose you is the reason you will rise. Your empathy is not a weakness. Your hope is not foolish. Your capacity to love is not naive. These are heavenly resources. God is pairing them with discernment and boundaries so your light is both bright and guarded. Your love will still be deep, but it will no longer be cheap. Your crown stays on. From this moment, you are done living in reaction. You are done negotiating your value. You are done letting adrenaline pretend to be love. Speak it out. God, align me with what is yours. Remove what is not. Use me as your vessel. Let my story display your glory. Something shifts when you say that. Maybe not your scenery yet, but your center. And when your center changes, your life begins to rearrange around it. You stop chasing what is not for you, and you start recognizing what is. And this is where the miracle happens. When you give God the wheel, you begin to hear him clearly again. His voice becomes the compass. Your intuition sharpens. You stop moving from fear and start moving from faith. The people, places, and opportunities that are in alignment with your purpose begin to find you. Doors open without you pounding on them. The right connections appear without you forcing them. You begin to live in a flow that cannot be manufactured, and because it is guided. This is what happens when you place your life back in God's hands. You are not left wandering. You are led. You begin to see signs you would have missed before. You get nudges to wait, to move, to speak, or to be silent. And you start trusting those nudges because you know the source. This is divine partnership. This is living under heaven's navigation. Say this with me, out loud if you can. My light is not for feeding. My love is not for draining. My gifts are not for exploitation. My heart belongs to God, and I will steward it with wisdom. I am chosen, not broken. I am placed, not punished. My crown stays on. God specializes in transformations that do not make sense on paper. Water to wine, death to life, ashes to beauty, slave to queen. He does not need perfect conditions. He needs your consent. Your yes may feel small. Heaven can build a future on it. Hand him the wheel again and again, and watch what he does with your surrender. Breathe. Feel the difference when your grip loosens. That relief is not fantasy. It is alignment. Aligned lives move. Aligned lives receive. Aligned lives do not chase what is not theirs. They walk in what is already written. Do not measure the miracle by tomorrow morning. Watch the pattern over the next weeks. Notice how doors you could not pry open with panic swing on ordinary hinges when you walk in peace. Notice how people who fed on your silence fall away when you stop apologizing for your voice. Notice how your energy returns when you no longer spend it defending your worth. Notice how your prayers get simpler and your days get softer. This is the fruit of surrender. This is the evidence of God at the wheel. If this message resonates, write one line in the comments. Today I surrender the wheel to God, and I stop abandoning myself in, and fill in the blank. Your sentence may be the lifeline someone grabs at 2 a.m. Hear me one more time. If this found you, it is because God wants you to know. You were chosen for your light. Meeting the narcissist was part of the plan that brings you into your fullest potential. You will not reach that potential by gripping harder. You reach it by giving God the wheel. You reach it by guarding your crown. You reach it by walking in peace. Chosen, not broken. Placed, not punished. Crown on. Peace to your house.